Yo, what is up everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube video with your host Kenkukun, and today we got another Destiny 2 Trials training video. The weekend is still rolling strong. 2 more days of trials, 3 depending on where you live and how much sleep you don't want to get. And someone brought up a good point. Now, Ruben on YouTube went to the comment section and had a question about the map. In the first video I came out with Saturday, I said it's highly important and it's almost necessary. If I didn't say the word, and I might have said it's imperative, but it's almost necessary to get to the middle on symmetrical maps first, or you're going to struggle getting into the middle. And they brought up a good point that I thought about after the video, but I just kind of dismissed it. But they brought it up, and it's not an easy topic to cover. So let's go ahead and dive into the video first with the point they brought up in the comment section. The vast majority of my games are lost before overtime flag appears. Right? I would say that's true for 90% of the games. They are over before overtime happens. Now, if you follow content creators, right, or other streamers or other YouTubers, that may be different because they may play against other people that are good at the game, and their 10% of their games are, oh, we're playing against a good team that we can't really push, and we're waiting 2 minutes, and then we have to fight 50 chaos reaches, right? And that's it, you know. And they say 2 minutes is too long, and I disagree. 2 minutes is not too long. Just some supers are just not balanced the way they should be. That, you know, and that's a whole different issue and a different topic. So I will agree that most games, for a lot of people, most games are over, win or lose, before overtime. Overtime is a choice that happens. So on this map, my team has to choose to get into the middle and for whatever reason not pursue the kills and play for overtime. That could be we're trading rounds and we want to play slow. We're playing for super because the enemy has a super but they're not being aggressive. Or we just want to be safe and end it, you know, the final round with the capture flag and force the enemy to push us instead of us pushing them because we may lose the round. All right, so they go on to say, the vast majority of games are lost before overtime flag appears. Is it still just as important to secure the center of the map? Yes. Yes, it is. However, they go on to say, if my team cannot get to the center in time, should we retreat and defend elsewhere? Also, yes. Yes, you should. Absolutely. Most enemy teams are confident enough to pursue my team past the center of the map. Great video. So, yes, if you cannot get to the middle in time, there's no reason to keep banging your head against the wall to get in there and failing and saying, well, Ken, you said to get into the middle. I can't do it. You suck. This is your fault I'm losing. And then it may be because I told you guys, get into the middle, right? If you don't get into the middle, you're going to lose. No, you're going to have a tougher time winning. All right? So let's go ahead and dive into the map. And let's break this down piece by piece. We're going to go into the vast majority of games are lost before overtime flag appears. And I already kind of, you know, covered that as to why that happens. I would say 90% of the matches are over before overtime. Absolutely. All right? Win or lose. Is it still just as important to secure the center of the map? Yes, and we're gonna move that part of the comment to the last. We'll cover that last. Let me focus on this because this is gonna be tough. You know, it's easy if I just say yes, absolutely, but it's tough to get to that point. If my team cannot get to the center in time, should we retreat and defend elsewhere? Yes, you should, and we're gonna touch up on that first. And then we will come back to the is it as important. So if you cannot get to the middle in time, right, and we've covered, and I'll cover the ways to get into the middle quickly, all right? There are 3 classes. There are 2 subclasses that excel at getting to the middle or moving. There are 2 subclasses that excel at movement. Warlock that blink with the Astrocyte helmet. Specifically with that helmet makes a great difference. And Dawn Blades, all right? Those 2 subclasses excel at movement, all right? other classes that excel at movement, all three of them can excel. If you're a Titan, you can run Dune Marchers. You can have 100 mobility and run Dune Marchers, and you're going to notice a difference, all right? So keep that in mind. Transversive steps on the Warlock. Same thing. Keep that in mind. Hunters with Stompies. Same thing. Now, Hunters with Stompies are on par with Dawn Blades and Blinking Warlocks. They can keep up with those two, and in some scenarios, they can move faster. So, oh boy, there was a couple of teams yesterday we played against, and when they spawned on this side of the map, they were in the middle, scary fast, Hunters. And it's my guess is because look at how flat the ceiling is. It's very flat. Now, if you watched the other videos and the links to to yesterday's video, if you watched the how to gain control of a map, and it was on this map and it had movement and hunters, you would know that you can kind of spawn up and maybe you get a jump off of here, but you want to get a jump. If you get a good jump right here, you see how it's angled? It's going to propel you forward and shoot you forward because hunters, Bungie loves hunters. Then they don't care about them hitting their head on the ceiling. All right, and they can just keep jumping into a nice flat surface ceiling. If you come to the other side of the map, look at all this stuff. Look at all this garbage. Yeah, there are flat surfaces here and there, but there's a lot of crap there too. And then you come down here when you first start off the map, right? Like nobody's hunter jumping right here. You're gonna jump. You're gonna jump into this, right? And I did that yesterday on the other side, which this is on the other side. You're gonna just jump into crap, and it's gonna throw you off. But you can start. You can make a nice hop here. You can make a relatively good hop here. You can't really hop into this door because boop, oh, you hit your head. Or you could, and you roll the dice whether or not, you know, whatever object you're jumping into is going to push you forward. But when they spawned on that side, they were in the room first, all right? So hunters can get to the middle before anyone else. Heck, I seen a hunter come from the outside lane and get to the middle first. So anyway, with that said, those are the classes that can... New adventures available. Get out of here. Those are the classes that can get... You know, those are the classes that can get to the middle first, and then those are the exotics that can help every class get to the middle first. But if you cannot get to the middle on time, should we retreat and defend elsewhere? Well, before you retreat, you should defend right around here. Here and down here, like this area. The outside isn't as important, all right? Yet. It is important, but it's not important yet. And if you start finding success defending here, then overtime on the outside are going to be very important. How are we going to defend? How should we defend an area like this? That is a tough question. In fact, that's a question so hard, there is no one answer. There's as many answers as options in Destiny 2, all right? Let me repeat that. There are as many answers as there are options between subclass, exotic armor, the weapons you choose, what the enemy has on equipped, right? Their builds, who you're playing against, what they are doing, what they do not do. You see, there's no... I can't give an answer to that. I can't say, drop a shield, you win, right? A shoot-through shield, and you win. Like, no, because that's, you know, so at that point in time, you need to find success in defending the area if you're going to retreat. Before you retreat, though, try to defend these areas first before you start, because once you start falling back and you, oh, okay, well, we're going to defend back here. The farther back you have to defend, the less likely your chances of success are going to be, because now you're always thinking about... Your team always has to think about how, you know, in the back of your mind, it's going to be, and then it's going to come to the front of your mind, oh, they're here, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. I can't back up anymore. All right, go this way. And now there's a guy here waiting to kill you, right? So if you are struggling to defend an area, right, let's go ahead and talk about that. Your fundamentals are not... Your fundamentals are lacking. I don't want to put on, you know, they're bad. They're, you know, you're bad, right? They're just lacking. And there's nothing wrong with being honest with your skills and your game and your gameplay as far as skill is concerned. There's nothing wrong with looking at yourself and saying, "Hey, I can't do this." You look at any sport on the planet, and athletes have to say the same thing. At some point in time in their life, they say, I cannot do this, but they go practice to do it. And eventually, you got LeBron James, you got Kobe Bryant, you got Michael Jordans, right? You got all those superstars out there, Magic Johnson, go a little bit old school with that, and you go and you look at football and baseball, you go anywhere, you have athletes, right? And you could take this out of a competitive sense. Musicians, right? Musicians that play instruments. They have to practice, right? I learned how to play a guitar, but I can't play the song because it's faster than what I'm used to. So I need to practice that. So practice. I don't have a lot of time for practice, Ken. I work 5 days a week. Sometimes you work 6. You maybe get a couple hours here and there. Well, the reality is, if you don't have the natural talent, you will never build up the hard work talent because you don't have the time. And the reality there is, you will never be at the place where everyone else is at. And that doesn't mean you cannot succeed. So, again, the how to defend an area is not easy to answer because, I had to get a little bit real with this video. There's so many ways to defend the area. So, what I'm going to suggest for you guys, and I'm going to have a link to another video in the description below, and it's called Destiny 2, How to Control an Area, Rusted Lands. So what you guys lack in time, I have a lot of, and that's why I come out with these videos on YouTube. So if you only started recently watching my YouTube videos, or you're just now tuning in for the first time, or you've heard about my YouTube and now you're kind of dabbling your toes into it, you need to watch the older videos, all of the Destiny Trials training videos for sure. And there might be a playlist solely for supers as well that I have. I think there's a playlist that cover just supers. They're probably the oldest videos I did on Destiny 2 when it came to PvP help. They're relevant today. So what you guys lack in time, I have in time and knowledge. And what I'm trying to impart to you guys is a lot of knowledge in a short amount of time. So what I'm going to tell you is how to defend the area. All right, Ken. So yes, you should retreat and defend elsewhere. But how do you do that? Well, before you retreat, you want to try and defend here, right? These two spots. If that doesn't, you just set up, look for primary engagements, special engagements, abilities, so on and so forth, right? If this isn't working, then yeah, I would say, fall back to the next area, which would be right around here. Same thing on the other side of the map. You're going to have an angle here. You're going to have to worry about an angle here. Got to keep your radar ready in case someone comes out from here and jumps up or even flanks all the way, right? Okay, and then if you get pushed back even further, yeah, you're at a really, really tough spot, and this may not be the map for you, and you may need help, but you can still come in, play with your friends, maybe have some fun. But if you want to succeed in some of the wins, everyone kind of has to, go their own way, train up a little bit like Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and then come back, everyone individually stronger, and now the team is stronger together, right? You see what I'm saying there, right? So, and what I'm saying there is maybe you have to go flawless with other friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. And, don't, if they're really your friends, eventually you're going to, you're still going to play trials together. So anyway, with that said, the how to defend an area, I keep coming back to this point. My advice to you is to pay attention to what the enemy loadouts are. So when the game starts up, either someone on the team needs to call it out where it shows off all the enemies, and it's going to say, oh, it's a hunter, and they're running, oh, it's a Titan. They're running Synthoceps, right? It's going to show the exotic armor if they're running one. It's going to show their 2 weapons or 3 weapons that they're running, and if they're running a slug shotgun, there's a sniper, or there's a shotgunner, or there's a grenade launcher, right? You're gonna call out their weapons. Oh, they're running the what's that machine gun called? The one with the shield, the heir apparent. Oh, they're running the heir apparent. If they get heavy ammo, we probably lose that round because heir apparent. And then you call out the subclass they're running. It's very important to pay attention to that screen when Bungie's when the match starts and Bungie's showing off the enemy. Unless they switch something at that point in time, you're going to see what they have. And then when the game starts, look at the top of the screen. It's going to show the subclasses that you're playing against too, the specific trees. At least for some of them. Like, so if you see this icon, you don't know if I'm running top, bottom, or middle sentinel. So you would either have to see something. You would have to see me shoulder charge. That would indicate that I'm running the bottom tree. You would have to see me melee someone to death and get an overshield, which would tell you that I'm running the top tree. Or you would see one of your teammates take void damage, and then there's like a little orbit of black gas floating around them to tell you that I'm running the middle tree, right? So knowing what your enemy's running, and the easiest way, you can come in as soon as you match up, you just go into the inspect and start, okay, boom, Scooter Boy, Stasis Hunter, Grenade Launcher, Scout Rifle, Regular Rockets, Stompies, all right, boom, all right, Illusion, Night Stalker, Bastion, Hand Cannon, Wormhusk, okay, we got Bellum, Voidwalker, Eye of Soul, Palindrome, Wardcliff, you know, transverse steps. Take it a step further on the Voidwalkers. Is he blinking? Absolutely. Oh, look, and now you see it's the middle tree, right? You know, so before the game even shows you off or shows them off, you could already be inspecting, just so you know. And now it's like, okay, if I'm running against an enemy team and two of them are Stasis Hunters, I'm not going to try and defend like right here and then take cover right here, or I'm not going to sit here with the shotgun out, you know, and expect me not to get ice grenaded, shattered off, right? See what I'm saying? So this is where all of the fundamentals come into play. When you have to defend an area, and yeah, when you have to defend an area, you kind of have to know what you're playing against, what you can do, and what you can't do, right? And that time and practice, that's how you're gonna succeed. So now let's go back to the other point, because I want to wrap this up here in the next couple of minutes real quick. Let's go back to the first point. Is it still just as important to secure the center of the map? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Once you start succeeding at defending areas back here, all right? Once you start succeeding, the enemy team's no longer going to push you. I'm not going to push you anymore. I'm going to be like, oh, okay, let's wait for overtime. And overtime comes up. There you go. Now what are you going to do, right? If you don't have a super to contest it, what can you do? Right? Your options are very limited. But let's say I don't have a super. Let's say no one has a super, right? And you're winning rounds. And we say, you know what? We don't want to push them anymore, but we can get to the middle first, and we can, you know, set up for overtime. Once you find success at defending not the middle on symmetrical maps, once you're going to force the enemy team, they're either going to continue to push you because they're confident enough to do so, or they're going to hold back. And it may not be a matter of confidence. They could just not want to, you know, pay. They may not want to play differently. And you know, I want to say they may not want to, you know, get smarter at their plays and realize that they don't have to push. But regardless, they may continue to push you and you could still win. Or they could sit back and just wait for overtime. Now, when the flag happens, you're going to have to push forward. And if your strong suit is not pushing into the middle after an enemy team is set up, you're going to have a tough time. There's a lot of times when my team plays overtime this weekend, a lot of enemies will come outside to find success. And they're going to use this to head glitch. They're going to use this to head glitch. They won't be as far up here unless they're using this for a lot of cover. And that could be scary. But they're gonna, they're gonna be trying to, find head glitches. So again, you can have your whole team rotate outside for overtime, and once that flag spawns, the middle is very important. Absolutely, the center of the map is very important. You may find yourself trying to push through, through this lane or through down there, but I would say it's easier to. I think it would be easier outside. Again, it depends on your teammates. How well are you with primaries at a distance? How coordinated are you to get out here without taking too much damage? So on and so forth. Because if you can push outside, you can see the flag. And if they can capture it by doing something like this. Like I could capture the flag like this. Like right here. And the only way you're going to be able to stop me is you kind of have to come over here. And you have to stand up. Now, you might be able to get away with backing up and doing this. Okay, I thought, make sure I wasn't going to fall off the map. But now you're exposed, and my other teammates can shoot at you, or I can just I can still do this, or I can throw an ice wall and boom, now you can't mess with me, right? Like we're now we're capturing the zones. So it's at that point in time, you're gonna want this is where your abilities are gonna help you, right? Getting grenades thrown up, there, lightning grenades, spike nades, trip mines. You throw them up there to push people off the zone, right? Other grenades you kind of want to like throw into an angle, suppressors, flashbangs, incendiaries. The other fire grenade that shoots on the ground, the thermite grenade. Wow, I remembered it. I haven't said that word in probably a year. Sticky nades, nobody really uses those, but they are very powerful with certain builds this season. So on and so forth. So yeah, so the middle is as important because, again, once you start finding success defending other places, the enemy team, they no longer, because they control the overtime, they don't have to push you anymore. They can wait. And then a lot of games are going to come down to supers too. So if you can get to your supers and maybe win a round or two, especially 2 rounds, and you can take a round per super, you're in a very, very good spot. But the same goes for the enemy, right? So good point. Once again, in the comment section below, guys, girls, if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I wish I could give you guys, the answers. That's just going to guarantee you wins every time. But I can't. What I do try to give you is ways to maximize your success. So if you can get into the middle on this map, your chances of success are higher. One, because your movement is fundamentally better, and you understand the importance of getting into the middle. Defending after that point, that's going to be the tough part as well. Defending, period, is a tough one. So again, link in the description below. Check out that video. The how to defend an area for Rusted Lands. And yeah, any more thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, please comment section below. Good luck on your journey to the lighthouse. I'll see you there. And yeah, that's all I got. Enjoy your day. See you next time.